Hello friends, this is Riz. Thanks for watching another Riz Pack video. So I'm entering month number 10 in my YouTube journey, and it's been pretty fun. It's been frustrating at times, and it still gets frustrating. And I noticed that the most frustrating part is trying to build your subscriber count and your watch time hours. Well, the watch time hours was not a big deal for me. I actually hit 1,000 watch time hours plus in the first 6 months or so. However, I needed my 1,000 subscribers, and I'm currently at 485, and it's been 10 months. So I've seen where others have hit their 1,000 subscribers, but they're struggling to get their watch time hours, and vice versa. For me, it's struggling to get subscribers. So I have probably 50 videos out, and I do usually true crime, graveyards, filming locations, and what other random stuff that I find. I do not stick to the standard YouTube format of creating a niche and sticking with it. I'm in my 40s. I own a business that's seasonal. So my channel is just kind of whatever I want it to be and whatever I want to share and whatever you want to see. So the thing that's going on right now is that I'm finding so many stories that I want to go cover, and it's kind of overload. I find myself researching too many stories at once, and then it gets kind of confusing, and then I want to go to this area one day and this area the next day and next weekend and the weekend after and things like that. So I would strongly suggest, if you're just getting into this and you're going to locations, to just maybe pick two or three at a time that are in the same location, focus on those, get all the info, because the research is the real work doing these videos, just researching and trying to make sure you have all the correct info, going to the right locations, finding the right locations, the right names, the right dates, the right times, things like that. That's the hardest part, is doing the research. And especially for somebody like me in my 40s, who I'm still pretty sharp, but I forget things. So on occasion, I will take some bullet points just so I can remember. And before I flip that camera on, I'll just do a quick glance at those bullet points just to refresh my memory. I do not read from a script. I honestly don't read from bullet points. I just have them there as a reference just in case. I usually do retain all the information because I feel that my videos are better when I'm just speaking freely with the information and not trying to read from a script or a bullet point. It just sounds, scripted at that point. So I do my best to try and retain the information and put that out there as I see fit. And I also try to verify everything I possibly can. If there's something that is not verified, I usually will put that up on the screen, but I typically don't put anything out there that I personally have not verified. I also do not watch other videos on my topics beforehand because I like to do my own research and form my own opinions and find the locations myself. Finding locations for some of these sites is kind of like a scavenger hunt. It's kind of fun in some ways. Of course, if it's a true crime murder story, then obviously that's not always fun, but finding the locations where things happened is kind of a rush because it's just not always out there. Sometimes you really have to dig. I just did a story in Kalamazoo from the 60s where an elephant got loose and went crazy in the neighborhood. And just finding those locations was very hard because there was only one or two articles and very few pictures. So I had to, no, that wasn't Kalamazoo. I'm sorry. That was Lansing, Michigan. I did some other stories in Kalamazoo, but finding those locations was very difficult because there wasn't much to go on. But I dug and dug and dug for days, and I actually found them. I found the exact place where the elephant trampled somebody, where the elephant was killed, things like that, where the elephant broke loose. And, when you're doing stories like that from the 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s, a lot of the surroundings have changed. So you're looking for things that may not be there, still, or they're different, or something like that. They're just, everything's different, especially with all the tearing down and building that goes on, in our country. Things are always different. So unless you're doing something current, in the 2000s, 2010s, even 2020s, a lot of times things are going to be different. And I do enjoy doing stories from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I grew up watching Unsolved Mysteries. It was terrifying. I remember my grandparents and I watching it together, and then I would have to go up to bed on the second story alone while they stayed downstairs and watched the news. And I just had Robert Stack's voice in my head until I finally fell asleep hours later. So if I can find any of those unsolved mystery stories, I definitely like to go do those. I did do one. Jessica Lynn Keene was her name, where she was murdered in a graveyard. I went and did that story. That story was on Unsolved Mysteries also. And I think I'd done one or two others. And there's one actually that I really want to go do. It's, I'm not going to say it, but I'm doing a lot of research, and I do remember it from Unsolved Mysteries. And it was one of the most intriguing stories I'd ever saw on Unsolved Mysteries. So I'm going to go do that one at some point here. But just trying to find stories sometimes can be rough. There's no lack of stories out there, but finding ones that will keep the viewer's attention seems to be hard sometimes, because it's very competitive right now. So like I said, I'm in my 40s. There are people that make thumbnails 100 times better than me, people that tell stories better than me, people that retain information better than me. They have better cameras than me, better microphones than me. But I don't care. I'm just doing me, and I hope what I put out is enjoyed by somebody. And it's enjoyed by 485 people, apparently. So thank you for that. I enjoy so much seeing subscribers, coming in. That's such a great feeling to see that somebody enjoys your material enough to subscribe to it and like it, and things like that. I'm also trying to get some more engagement on my Instagram, Facebook accounts, and things like that as well. When you own a business that is seasonal and you're working basically almost every day from April until early November, it's tough to try and do videos and do research and things like that. But I managed to do it all summer long. I would take that one day off I had, if I had one, and I would travel. I would go as far as I could before I had to be back, and I would do a story, and I got them out there. My goal was one video a week, two if I could, but I can say now that I probably will be doing more talking videos and more things about, aging, getting older. I just, where are they at? Here they are. I just had to invest in a pair of these bad boys, because I'm at that age now where I can't see anything on my phone. I can't see anything close up. And that's pretty traumatizing. And there's other things as you age that become traumatizing, but it's part of the life. It's part of the deal. And we just got to make the best of it and get through it. So it is what it is. I'm also looking for some type of hustle work for the summer to keep, for the winter, to keep income coming in and to curb my boredom. I have plenty of stories I could do on YouTube that could fill my entire winter, but I also have to have income coming in during the winter because, like I said, we're seasonal. And even though you do save up for the winter, it's just always nice to have some extra income. So lately I've been searching these driver app job opportunities, like ClickList Shipped and DoorDash, and there's another one, Walmart, Spark, things like that. And it's very confusing when you look at videos on YouTube when you're looking for driver app side hustle recommendations, because there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of videos telling you what's good, what's bad, to do it, to not do it. And that's where I find myself right now. It's so confusing. There's videos that say they're going to give you the top 8, the top 10 driving apps to make money. And then when you kind of dive into them, you realize that there's a long waiting list, or it doesn't pay enough, or I have all trucks. So I do not get good gas mileage. So I have to drive trucks. So a lot of these driving jobs would not be good for me because I would spend more on gas than what I would make. But I'm still going through trying to find something. I'm just looking into Walmart Spark. That looks pretty promising. I just need something to do to keep busy in the winter because I'm one of those people that can't sit still. I'm always moving, and like I am right now, always moving around, and I have to do something. So I'm looking into those things, and I'll do a video maybe mid-winter to let you know what I found out and what I'm doing to see if any of these driver apps actually paid off. So, but now we get to, have that long stretch of cold winter here in the Midwest, and it gets dark at like 7 o'clock and stays dark until 7:30, 8 o'clock the next morning. So that becomes depressing. It's cold out. You have to wear jackets, and it's just that time we dread every year. And I do typically enjoy the winter, but not 5 or 6 months of it. That gets to be, quite a bit, especially when your bones ache and your joints ache and everything like that. So, but I'm getting ready to just, put everything away and for the season, and just looking for that next step for winter. And I guess when I find it, I will let you know, update you all. So in the meantime, I really appreciate you watching. I'm really trying to grow this channel. It's something I really enjoy. So once again, my name is Riz, and this is RizPack Video. And no, Riz is not my real name. That's what I went by for the last 28 years, and that's how everybody knows me. So we'll just stick with it. But if you would, please do me a favor, subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. I'm really trying to grow this channel. I really enjoy doing YouTube videos. I enjoy going to locations and showing you exactly where things happened, where history happened, where good things, bad things happened, all that stuff in between. I really have grown to love that. So again, please subscribe, please like, and I will be back with the next video very soon. Thanks so much.